Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be looking at Dani from NEWJEANS. Apparently, she got kicked out of ADOR for doing like side projects or something, which is something I predicted. I said that she wanted to work and maybe would, and I don't know if it was going to be allowed or not. I guess it's not. My track record with NEWJEANS has not been positive. I even deleted a video because it was. I was like, they're gonna keep going with the lawsuit, and then like 12 hours later they're like, they're going back to ADOR, and I was like, oh. I did predict some things accurately in that video though, and I said that I felt like they were separated from Minji and that Minji was working with another group of people, which I guess there are reports that Minji has like a new group of 5 girls or something, which is heartbreaking. Anyway, I'm also going to look into ADOR and HYBE and like what their plans are. So fingers crossed, we'll see. My track record with energy shoddy at best. I predicted some things and I've gotten, I think, a lot more wrong. Whatever. In this case, I'm just gonna look at their energy and try not to do future predictions because I don't think I'm very good at that with this group. Well, with that being said, everything I say is all alleged and with entertainment purposes only, and with peace and love, and let's go. Okay, so we're gonna start with Dani and just how she's generally feeling. Oh, she feels wronged. Justice. I don't know if this is true or not, but I read reports that her mom filed a lawsuit on her behalf or something like that, or like she's suing ADOR and HYBE separately from the other members now. I don't know if that's true or not, but she definitely feels wrong. She feels isolated as well. I guess we'll find out in a little bit how the other members are like relating to one another, but at present she feels alone, which makes sense even if you, I think this is a challenging thing to be going through regardless of who you are. Because the 6 of Wands in the reverse position, in the reverse it's like a lack of valor. It's like not having leadership. It's like not having a clear direction, but also kind of like having your position like taken from you or like falling from it in some way. And the Justice, of course, is justice. It's in the upright position, but that's her pursuing justice. It's kind of a favorable card in the sense that like she might get something out of it if she is like pursuing some sort of legal action, but really it's the pursuit of it in this case. But that's gonna be so tedious, I swear. She's gonna lose a lot of money, or regardless. I mean, doesn't she owe a lot of money, right? Also to like HYBE and ADOR, isn't it like millions of dollars or something like that because she infringed on their contract, which is very heartbreaking. She absolutely will owe money, even if I don't know if she's suing, what she's suing on the grounds of, and what she wants from being sued. I'm not sure, but in any case, she's going to owe money in lawyer fees and owing to them. She is working. She's working on something still. This energy feels like something creative though, or something, I don't know. She's like still going after. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be, it feels work related though. Like she is working to do something, not necessarily like in a hobby sense, not even like in like a study sense. It's like literally like I am creating something to be out into the world. It feels creative. I don't know. I'm not sure if she'll share it. I don't know if she's allowed to share it or capable of sharing it, but she also just might be somebody who is naturally inclined to be somebody who works a lot, so she just can't help it. But that's kind of what got her in trouble. I have no idea what she infringed on her contract with. I haven't been keeping that much attention. I don't know. Someone said in the comments, and I think you're right, where it's like, I really like, I feel like I'm notoriously kind of inaccurate with NEWJEANS because I really care about them. They were so young when they got in the industry, and I really harp on that. Anyway, so this is working at something, beating on your craft. This is illusions falling away, the 7 of Cups. So it's like seeing reality clearly. But it also, like in my mind's eye, I see her, and if you look at the card, there's like jewels right here, and then there's like a dragon. So it's like good things and bad things. A snake, you know what I mean? So I see her in my mind's eye, like standing, and it's like the standing like in a plane or something, and the fog is lifted, and now she can see like the dangers in front of her and like places of opportunity. I don't feel like she feels like she has a lot of leverage or necessarily the upper hand, but she's very like and I don't say this in like a negative way, she's very scrappy. Like she really, like she is someone who's very what's the word, like adaptable. I think specifically Danielle would be someone hard pressed where you could like really trap her in something. If anything, I kind of feel like she sabotaged her contract because she legitimately did not want to work under ADOR anymore. She like, I feel like has a really big issue with being trapped, which is kind of funny because it's like, well, you went to the K-pop industry. Like they're like notoriously known for kind of like silencing people and like putting them, you know, whatever. Maybe she didn't know that at the time, and she also was quite young when she was in the group. At any rate, it's giving like she did this kind of intentionally, not entirely, and I also feel like she didn't quite think that they would like make good on their side of the bargain. Because you have to imagine, like, NEWJEANS is very much a 5-member group. Like it would be very, it's really weird to see them as like 4 members, and especially because they were marketed as 5 and like they're 5 individual personalities coming together. So I felt like she felt like they weren't going to follow through. There is a small sense of relief that she does not have to work under ADOR and HYBE anymore, because none of the members seem to really want to, and they got, you know, kind of pushed back because the courts didn't side with them. 5 of Cups, that's focusing on what went wrong. That's grief. Oh, that's sad. The Fool is embarking on a new journey, very naive. And the King of Wands. Oh, she has financial backing from somebody. Weren't there reports? I really don't know. But I read somewhere that like her uncle is involved or something. And way back in a previous reading, I said that there was like a man that NEWJEANS was involved in, but they felt behind the scenes. I don't know if that's that. But this feels like a helpful person, a benevolent person. They might have a lot of connections in the industry. They might have a lot of connections generally. They seem very powerful. They seem like they're connected to the arts in some way. And they seem like either powerful or wealthy. But those two things go hand in hand. Either watching over her, and I don't know if this is somebody she knows about. It could be somebody like super unrelated that just like, I mean, she's famous, you know what I mean? So it's like they're like watching her, but it's like they either are going to help or have helped or will pull strings on her behalf or will like talk on her behalf. I see that really strongly for some reason. This card specifically is very much like I'm watching over, because this is her. She shows up as a fool in this spread, which is like naive. It's sort of like, oh, I don't think she is naive to the sense of like this is quite a battle, an uphill battle. I don't think it's that. It's literally like you are inexperienced. Like she's 22. I don't know how old she is. Very young, especially. I mean, and also I think anyone would be, because like the legal system is, I think most legal systems are like notoriously hard to understand. So I think that's true for her. She's very in over her head and is very like, I don't know what's going on. She's honestly really devastated to be separated from her members, because the 5, this is literally talks about grief. And I mean, the imagery on the card is really like that. It's funny because there's 5 cups, which you mean there's 5 members, but that's the, could be. It also feels like there's going to be another member that in some way is like separated from the others. That could be like actually being removed. It also could be like they get like, well, I mean, like, you know, God forbid, but like injured or sick or something. There's something about another. I see another member in my mind's eye. I see like 5 of them, and Danny's on one side, and then the 4 of them are another, and then another person gets like pulled away, not necessarily towards Danny, but just like pulled away. So it's like there's another person that's something's going to like happen to them. NEWJEANS. That's interesting, because we just got the 5 of Cups. The 4 of Cups is contemplation. It's like thinking about things. The Queen of Wands, that could be Minji Jen. No, that doesn't. Well, it could be, but the Queen of Swords also. This feels like one of the members that's not Danny. I kind of want to know what the Queen of Swords is looking at. The Hermit. Oddly enough, I feel like the NEWJEANS, I really want to pull them out on them specifically, because it feels like there's like an issue going on between the 5 members. Like there's like, it feels almost like isolation, or like we're not talking, or like there's something like frozen between them. Like it doesn't feel like fighting. It feels almost like don't talk to her. But I don't know who's in reference to who. That might not be it at all, but it seems like there's something like odd or unfavorable going on among the 5 members. And we've been getting a lot of like communal types of cards, or like cards that would indicate either NEWJEANS in some way or like a group of people in some way, which is usually NEWJEANS. And I'm getting the impression that I really want to pull on them, but I want a little bit more information on Danny before we do that. The Wheel of Fortune, that's bad luck. The King of Pentacles, that can be HYBE or ADOR, but it doesn't have to be. It's just like masculine energy, powerful, rich. And the Temperance is balance. There's something that's going to go unfavorable for HYBE or ADOR. I don't know if it's honestly that related to NEWJEANS at all. I think it's related to all their groups for some reason. Like there's going to be news that hits relatively soon about HYBE specifically, or maybe ADOR specifically, that has to do with money in an unfavorable way. Like, I don't know, like their stocks tank, or like a shareholder leaves, or something kind of important that is related to NEWJEANS and might help Danny's case, but won't necessarily like fully fix everything. It's hard to explain. It would be like if there was new evidence that you know that CEO of HYBE that like is no longer the CEO or something, and he's like doing illegal stuff, and like there's a lot of news that comes out. I haven't been paying attention to it. There's something about that where like they could be like, see, like we were wronged, but it won't. I don't know if the courts will really believe them. She feels honestly like numb. You know when something bad happens to somebody and like they immediately jump into action and they're like, okay, like what are we gonna do now? It's like she hasn't fully processed still I feel like she kind of knew what she was doing in terms of like infringing on her contract, but she really didn't think that they were gonna like make good on like kicking her out. Because I think that's would be really surprising to everybody, because it's sort of like, well, NewJeans is a 5-member group, and if you want the group back to like work for you, like why would you get rid of? And also I feel like Dani is a really like vibrant member of the group, you know what I mean? Like I think she adds a lot to the personality of the group, so it's like kind of a big loss for her to like leave. She really doesn't feel like that access to her emotions right now. She's very much like meeting with lawyers and like maybe talking to people about like what she can do and what her options are for like the future. I think she will eventually like kind of thaw, because it feels like she's kind of like an ice cube walking around right now, and she'll thaw and she'll really like come to a realization. I think about a lot of things. I think about what the last several years have brought her, being in the K-pop industry under Adore and HYBE. I feel like she will start to reflect a little bit more on the dynamic between the girls. For a long time, and I think this is true, they kind of operated as a unit, and I see them fragmenting for some reason. And I don't know, I see them fragmenting for some reason. And she's going to reflect on the friendships that she's forged with the members, because this isn't to say that I think they're fighting or they don't have care for one another. And I also feel like they've been under a lot of stress for a long time, and that can obviously wear on any relationship. She doesn't feel she feels like numb, like not really online. She's mentally thinking a lot, but otherwise I don't think she's really strongly in her body currently. I don't think she's really strongly in her emotions currently, which means she's under a lot of stress, I would imagine. So that's really it. Like, I don't know. I also don't think she has a strong plan of what she's going to do yet. She's trying to like put together like a team or workshop, or be like, okay, like, can I sue for this? Like, can I do that? What do I owe? And like, how do I pay back this money if I like owe? Like, she's really kind of like in the middle. She's like in a liminal state. Well, okay. It's interesting. Like, she is sad, but she's really like not at the same time. It's more like anxiety and worry. And there is like kind of like a silver lining of relief of like, oh, thank God I don't have to like work under this company anymore, because they were trying to get out of it. Let's ask about the other members to see what they're up to. I'm gonna pull a card each on the girls. Okay, this is gonna be Hanni, work, and this is gonna be Heiyn. This is gonna be Haerin and Minji. So this was Hanni, which is the Queen of Pentacles. That's nurturing something, taking care of something. I kind of want more. This is like luxury, abundance. That's kind of interesting. Those are interesting cards to get. I think what she thought would happen and what ended up happening, she feels is more favorable, but in terms of her specifically, not in terms of the group or the general kind of vibe and atmosphere. She feels, oh, that's weird. That's really weird. They're either lying to her. It's always with Hanni. They're either, wait, I need more cards, because this is kind of a lot. They honestly, and I think might surprise people, and also take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I'm kind of like not the best with them. But this seems like they actually quite like Hanni. They see something in her. They like her for some reason. Wasn't she kind of like the main one they pushed in the group when NewJeans was active or something? Anyway, they really like her. They like what she can do. They think that she is very good at being on stage. There's like something about her that you can't find in other idols or like other trainees, or there's something you can't replicate. It's also like untapped potential, so we haven't seen the full potential of Hanni specifically. And the company, they don't like her in terms of what she's doing. They don't care about her, if that makes sense. So they're not like worried about her well-being, but they like her in terms of what she can do. They're like, you are very unique in this skill set or this thing or this showmanship. There's something about that. It's hard to find. We can't search for this in like other trainees. It's like you either have it or you don't, and Hanni has it. So it's weird because they like her for that, but I don't think necessarily they're nice to her or treating her well, but they're sort of like, there's they kind of want to like keep her around or cultivate her and like do something else with her. But I don't know if they do that with a lot of, because there's so many like idols and like trainees that like probably would fit that same bill, that there's nothing that ever happens. But there's something about them specifically focusing on Hanni and viewing her kind of benevolently. It's really weird. Or there's like a benevolent energy around Hanni, and I see them talking to her and like telling her stuff or maybe promising her things or whatever, and it's not what you would expect, and I don't think it's what she expected. I think she thought that they were gonna like throw the book at her And they are. Because I see, like, in the very peripheral, I see HYBE and ADOR pissed about everything that NewJeans has done. But I also think HYBE specifically has a lot going on, and I think has kind of a lot of skeletons in their closet, and there's too much spotlight that is being shown on them through NewJeans, and they don't fuck with that. At any rate, because this is like nurturing something, but Pentacles is money, and it's sort of like, you see how vibrant this card is, and there's like a lot growing around Hanni. This is literally kind of like a gilded cage, so it's like this lady. And, you know, like, still, again, a lot of, like, vibrance. She's dripping in robes. Like, there's a lot of pentacles around her, which indicates money or finances or health in some way. It's in the upright position, which is usually a beneficial card. And then you have a bird right there. Sometimes I can be talking about, like, a caged bird, and especially because the pentacles act kind of like a boundary or a barrier from, like, all of the lushness. So sometimes you can talk about, like, being almost trapped by, like, luxury or something. But then you have the King of Swords right here, which is in the reverse position, which is, and the sword, if you see, is kind of, like, slanted, which can be masculine energy. So in this case, we'll say it's a man, but it can be whatever, who is speaking not honestly. Sometimes this can talk about, like, someone who speaks really violently or is, like, really mean. In this case, it's almost like someone is lying to her about something or promising her something that, like, they're not going to follow through on, but she almost is kind of believing it, and I don't know why. I don't know who this could be also. It feels like it's on the ADOR or HYBE side, or somebody that is, like, working with the other members for some reason. But specifically, like, focused on Hanni, but they're lying to her about something, and they're like, oh, look, we'll give you this opportunity, or you can go solo, or you can be a part of this group. And I don't know if they're lying in an outright way, but they're trying to get her to believe something. It's sort of like if you're trying to butter somebody up, and it's kind of honestly working a little bit. She's still very suspicious. She still doesn't really want to be there. She would have preferred to just have broken her contract in, like, a healthy, normal way. But it's like their NewJeans is, like, locked in, I guess, unless they infringe on their contracts as well. So they're, like, buttering her up for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if they're trying to, like, they're trying to rebrand NewJeans or maybe just Hanni for some reason, but they really specifically like the skill set of Hanni. And the Ace of Wands is the start of something new, especially creative. And then this is giving unfairly. Oh, they're highlighting Hanni. But, like, here's the thing. It's like people I've been telling me that, like, Hanni specifically, like, they're really... Wasn't she also the one that, like, spoke up in court and was, like, the one that was, like, kind of, like, crying in the courtroom or whatever? And has been the most vocal, being, like, kind of anti-HYBE and ADOR, I think, right? But all of them got lumped together because it was very much, like, the NewJeans lawsuit. For one reason or another, I don't know. If I could ring Hanni right now, I'm like, if someone is telling you nice things, don't believe them. Don't believe them. It's weird. They're trying to butter her up, but it's not in her best interest is why. And it's like false promises is what I keep feeling is happening. Well, it's not, like, dangerous, and I hope she makes, like, good decisions and doesn't, like, fully believe everyone around her, but it's bizarre. She honestly kind of feels like she is. It feels like she's getting sucked into something. It's like, Hanni, girl. It sounds good on paper. All right. Oh, my God. Wait. Did I say this was Heiyn? I think I said Heiyn, Haerin, Minji. 10 of Cups is harmony. Two couples right here, but it's interesting because it's 2 and 2, so it's 4, and then the 5th one is, you know, out of the group. Anyway, but this is like celebration. It's a very beautiful card. It's one of the best cards you can get. It's about harmony. It's about family. It's about connection. It's about community. It's about happiness. It's about a happy ending. This is a decision needing to be made, but not being able to have all of the information, so kind of going into it blindly. It can also be an internal kind of unconscious decision. It's usually a decision that is, like, intellectual but will have emotional consequences. The Lovers, really positive cards for the NewJeans girls. That's so funny. Lovers is unionship. It's coming together. And especially you have the 2 right there. 2 swords, right? 2 pairs of 2 people, and Lovers is 2 people. The Lovers can be a choice, a connection, a decision, literally like romance, but in this case it doesn't really feel that way. What's going on? This is like working at something and seeing if, like, what it will pan out. She's being offered something as well, but this is going to be annoying. Again, take everything I say with a grain of salt. This seems separate from what they're talking about with Hanni. I think all of the 4 members, they are trying to get them to do something or something. I mean, obviously, NewJeans will never be the same again. They don't have Minji, like, working behind the scenes to make the sort of, like, aesthetic thing work for them, but they're trying to, like, get her to do something as well, or she's being offered something. And the Fool, that's naivety. They're being, like, really, like, showered in some way, but it feels fake. It feels like love bombing almost. But again, the company does not care about their well-being, and they're not acting like it at all. it's very like business. It's kind of cold, but it's sort of like if I was like a producer, right? And I'm talking to you and you want to be like a singer, and I'm like, I can give you like the best opportunities, and you're going to have to work like 23 hours a day and you're not going to get any sleep, but everyone's going to love you, and it's like you're going to be like a mega star. So it's sort of like, well, but I do need sleep, and I don't want to work 23 hours a day. There's something about like we can promise you a lot of benefit, but it's at like there's no like care. And also I think this is really why NewJeans got in the predicament they got into, where they felt like the company didn't care about them, but the company's promising them something. This feels separate from what they are promising Hanni, though. It feels lesser than too also, but it's very much like we're like a choice almost. Like, do you want this song or this song? Do you want to go this way or that way? Do you want this thing or that thing? And Hanni specifically, there's like a golden aura around her in the way that Heiyn and Ador look at her. They're like, you specifically have something that like can't be replicated. And I mean, honestly, I think Hanni is probably one of the better performers in NewJeans. Like, she's very like, your eyes kind of go to her when you watch her because she has a lot of like expressiveness to her. Anyway, I really don't know what this is, but it's also, again, very naive. It's like, don't. NewJeans really doesn't have a lot of a choice, though. Like, they tried to leave Ador and like couldn't, so it's like they're kind of like stuck here for the time being. But it's really fascinating because I would have expected that we would get a lot of like negative cards, and it's sort of like bad work environment, toxic vibes. It's very like love bombing is what it feels like. It feels like we're promising you a lot, but it's also like there's like a caveat, there's a catch that's actually quite significant. I hate the way HYBE moves. I've always been someone that's been very suspicious of HYBE ever since I started doing tarot readings. I think they have some of the best music in the K-pop industry, I'll be honest. But I hate how they function. It fucking makes me so mad. Like, every single group I do that's under a HYBE label really makes me angry for some reason, because it's like the company does not care. Very much these idols are expendable, and they treat them well enough so that they don't like get injured and stuff, and like it's all profit entirely. The people, like, the creative part of it and, like, people who, like, help them obviously care. But it's, like, the company itself, products. These people are products. It makes me upset. Okay. I think I said this was Haerin. The 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, that's, like, asking for help, need help. This is, like, a church, and they're, like, people who are poor that are, like, trying to find, like, a sense of safety. Knight of Pentacles in the reverse position, owing money. I think NewJeans does still owe money for sure. Even if it's just in legal fees or like there's some sort of penalty for Ador and HYBE in their contract. I'm not sure. I haven't kept up. Maybe you guys know. Anyway, the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse position, owing money. Or sometimes it's like the slowing down of something. Collaboration, working together. They're planning on something. I think HYBE and Ador had comebacks planned for NewJeans for kind of like a while. At least like 1 or 2 before they kind of were like, we're gonna leave, and then, you know, the whole fiasco happened. So they have music ready to go. They have like a whole concept ready to go, and have for a long time, like locked and loaded. And it's sort of like, but again, Danny has left, been kicked out. So it's sort of like, what do we do now? Oddly, I don't know if I think they're gonna try to like rebrand NewJeans or push them back out there. I don't feel like the public necessarily favors NewJeans all that much, but they also want to recoup some of their money. So they're going to like, I don't think NewJeans is going to get a complete 180 rebrand, but they're going to try to like level them up in some way. And also I think maybe play into them being both kind of like victims, but also like people who like really don't fuck with NewJeans because of what they did. There's kind of like, it's going to be edgier and like more villainy. I don't know if it will get off the ground though, because it seems like there's the NewJeans, the 4 of them seem like they're really like digging their heels in the sand. Maybe that's where the love bombing is coming from, and like the company's trying to really get them to like, just go on stage, just fucking dance, please make us some money, and like they're being like resistant about it. So it's like the company's trying to butter them up. I'm really not sure, but they have things locked and loaded. I see them like rebranding, but it's not going to be a 180. It's going to be like edgier. It's going to be like badder, but not necessarily even like what's the word? Like they're going to start doing like girl crush types of concepts. It's not like that. It's just sort of like a little bit more adult from what they did before, and it's like subverted. It's odd. I don't know. The Chariot in the reverse position, again, this is like slowing down, delays. She does not want to be there. And she makes it known. She makes it absolutely known. This collaboration, I think she works well with the members. I think she's causing management like a bit of a headache. She's like slow to do stuff, and like she like does it like kind of purposely badly, and like she's like lazy, but I mean that in like an intentional way. Like she's not trying hard enough. She doesn't want to be there. like it's just like on principle, very stubborn energy in a good way. It's sort of like, I don't like to be controlled. I think this is unfair. I don't want to do this. It's odd. Hanni's energy is bizarre to me. It's very much like she's being like wooed in some way and like falling for it. And it's like, Hanni, you spent like the better part of a year like telling these people to fuck off. This person is very much like, nah, bro. I see the game. I don't care. Love that. Ace of Swords. That's like also kind of lying. Because immediately when I pulled this card, I saw one of the girls like talking and then was like talking to like somebody who's older, so it could indicate management. And then behind their back, they like cross their fingers, which people do when it's like they're lying. They don't want like, I don't know, like God to be mad at them. I'm not sure. But anyway, whoever this is, they don't fuck around. They are fucking around, but they don't fuck around. They don't want to do this at all. It's a principle thing. You can offer me whatever the fuck. It's like, I don't want to do this and you're forcing me to do this. I don't care what you offer me. I don't want to do this. Not in this way. Very cool. I really like this energy. They don't feel happy though. I'll say it's not an empowered, I don't want to do this. It's definitely a trapped and like, this is my only option. I don't want to do this. They also do feel kind of demoralized, but at the very least, they're not like just lying down and kind of just like letting things happen to them. They're very much like digging their heels in the sand. NEWJEANS, it's weird because the company, I feel like, is like, if we just like do enough, if we woo them enough, if we are mean to them enough, they'll eventually get back on stage. Because that's, I've said from the very beginning, this company, Adore and HYBE, genuinely just want NEWJEANS back and to perform and make them money. They're trying different tactics to get the four of them back together. But I don't know. I think the reason why they had to kick Dani out, because I really want to pull specifically on Adore and HYBE, but it seems like that was a technicality. And because like they just got done with a court case, or maybe there are still some legal cases going on a technicality, it's like, well, you broke the contract. We have to also honor that contract. Because if with Dani, she infringed on it. So if the company just lets that go, then it's like, oh, okay, well, but that was in the contract. So we can like, we, the members can like, exploit other parts of the contract and get out of our own contracts. Adore absolutely did not want to kick Dani out of the group at all. They had to. It was like a legal technicality. They couldn't like just let her infringing on it go, because then that would leave a loophole for the other members. That makes so much sense. They really did not want to let this girl go. Anyway, it's just that came to me. I don't know. Anyway, I really don't think NEWJEANS is gonna get off the ground. They might. We literally might see the four of them on stage. They might have a new comeback. Honestly, it seems like the music would be really cool. It would be an updated version and an adult. I honestly feel almost like sexier version, which is okay, you know. Everyone's an adult, that's fine. But some of the members are really like pissed, just so like not compliant, which I mean work. Okay, so this is Minji, which is that this is burden. 10 of Wands is burden. Balancing everything, she's turned into the glue. I think at different stages, everyone is kind of taking a turn trying to hold the group together, and it's Minji's turn again. I think Minji often, it's often her, but it's not always her. But anyway, and she is the oldest, but right now it's sort of like she's trying to balance everybody. I think some of the members really haven't been talking to Dani all that much. I don't think it's out of unfavorability. It's either we're busy or we're separated, or there's something about that. Minji seems to be like the bridge between a lot of them currently. Knight of Swords, this is rushing, but it's also speaking and communication. She's very confused. She doesn't know what to do, what path to take. And it's also kind of in behavior. It's sort of like, do I dig my heels in? Do I make things really like inconvenient? Do I skip stuff that I'm supposed to be going to? Do I let them be mad at me and like it's whatever? Like, what are you gonna do? Or is it gonna be more like, should I try my best and like try to like find a way out of this and maybe like turn this into a different opportunity? Like I could pivot into acting after we're done with like this NEWJEANS bullshit or whatever. Or become a soloist, or join another group. She's very much like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what my options are either. Because NEWJEANS, eventually their contract will end, and like the girls have the rest of their lives to live, and it's sort of like, this was kind of like a big deal, and I feel like a lot of people are kind of like suspicious about trusting them now. But also, I mean, like, time probably will make people forget and also heal like the negative perception I'm sure a lot of people hold of NEWJEANS. But they also were quite young, which I think helps them. She feels very burdened. She feels overburdened. Contemplation. She feels very sad. Minji, I will say, I really like her energy. It's very sweet. She is somebody that like, okay, this is gonna sound so fucking mean, and I don't mean it this way, but it's sort of like when I'm in Minji's energy, she feels really kind of like simple kind of, but I don't mean dumb. I just mean like her thoughts are like slower and very like very of the moment. It's nice. Like, I really like it. I like her energy. It's very calming for me. And I think because of that, she's very much like, she just really doesn't know like what to do or what to think. And I think Minji would have honestly been really successful as a K-pop idol, because it seems like she is somebody that like can kind of just like adopt whatever you tell her to do. She's like, yeah, I'll do that. And then I think she kind of like was definitely not the leader in terms of when NewJeans started their lawsuit, but she was very much with it, because she was like, yeah, like my homies are doing it. And I don't think any of them really liked the environment they were in. If Minji was in like a different group, like if Minji got put into like ILIT, for example, Minji would just be like totally fine. Like, I think she's actually quite acclimated to this because she is not super thinky, you know? I say that really respectfully. Anyway, she's definitely being confronted with a lot of like forks in the road. Like, how do I do this? Where do I go here? Like, let's think about the long game in a way that I don't think she would have had to do if NewJeans had gone business as usual. She definitely was acclimated for the idol life. The hanged man in the reverse, they're not really focused. The company's not very focused on Minji for some reason. I think maybe because they know that she's an easier person to maybe get on board or off of board or whatever. But she really is thinking, and I think she's growing up a lot and maturing faster than if she had not gone through all of this, which is good. She's like, yeah, I see that really strongly. Like, she feels pulled in a lot of directions. She feels a sense of anguish. The group is fragmented, but it's not that they dislike each other. I don't see that even a little bit. It's just sort of like, we're not operating as a unit anymore. We're like on different things. We're being pulled in different directions. She also feels, I think, uniquely and specifically mad that Danny got kicked out. Because of course the members can still talk to one another, but she's sort of like she left? The other members, either it's not in the energy or it didn't pop up, but they were just very like, damn, but also kind of like we saw that coming. Minji's like deeply upset that Danny is no longer... Because imagine like you think that you're something for a long time, we're a 5-member group, and then one member just like is gone like that. Okay, well, let's ask about Adore and HYBE. HYBE and Adore, the lovers coming together, a contract, death, a lack of a rebirth. Oh wow, these are like big cards. The hanged man, this is all major arcana. They have a lot going on. I'll say they have big plans. I don't know if those plans are gonna follow through, I'm gonna be honest. The hanged man in the reverse position is the need for a new perspective. I see. What they thought, once NewJeans agreed to come back or like drop the lawsuit, which has been like a month or something, kind of a little over a month, I'm not sure. They thought that much different things were going to happen than are what currently is being played out. The members, I think, are still not necessarily fully cooperating. I think they're trying to try different tactics. They literally just want money. They want money and they want to recoup their image. Those are the two big things. And that's like anything else is like whatever. Well, it's by any means necessary. The death in the reverse position is like not changing, not a rebirth, but wanting one. They're actually kind of happy the members are back. Very devastated Danny's not there. I'm going to say they did not want to get rid of this girl. Because, I mean, obviously it's like weird that she's not in NewJeans. Like, NewJeans is 100% the 5 of them. The Fool is starting on a new journey with, like, Naive. The Moon in the reverse position. That'd be weird. I really don't know. This is going to sound crazy. But this, again, is like HYBE and Ador's energy. But again, this is HYBE and Ador's energy. But the Fool, which is a card that was kind of like strong in Danny's reading at the very beginning of this video, it feels like, and I don't know if they legally can do this, but they might redraw up a contract. They'll try. The thing is, you have to, like there's so much emotion in this as well. So it's sort of like business is business, but it's also like, do I want to fucking work with you people? But then again, like imagine, okay, and I have no idea if this is true or whatever, but this is like a really strong card and it feels super connected to Danny. And the Fool, again, is like Naive. It's like it's the very first card in the tarot. So it's the very beginning of this long arc, which is tarot is just like a story of a person going through all these trials and tribulations. But it's giving like they're gonna try to like offer Danny a new contract in some way, or like, I really don't know. That'd be fucking weird. But I don't think it would be like, here's this new contract, come back to NewJeans under a new contract. I don't think that's legally what it would be. But they're going to try. And the incentive for Danny would be that she doesn't have to owe as much money or like no money, or like there's some sort of less of a legal penalty that she's currently having to like pay. There's something about that. It's weird because I see them honestly so upset they had to let go of Danny. And that was genuinely a court technicality. They couldn't not do it without the other members finding a loophole to get out of their contracts. Because it's like, well, you're not honoring this contract of like kicking out the member because they infringed. Anyway, the Moon is something coming to light. this is all like heavy cards. This is all major arcana except for this card. But the moon is something coming to light. It can also be evolution of some sort. But it's interesting because death is supposed to also be evolution, and it's like not evolving. I feel that. It's weird. I really don't know. I mean, take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I have been a floppiana with NewJeans. But it's weird. I don't think Danny's going to go for it. And honestly, if I were her, I would. But then again, I don't know really what it feels like to work under Adore and HYBE, and NewJeans felt compelled enough to want to leave it. But they're gonna try. I feel like there's like a legal loophole that HYBE and Adore could do so the court doesn't look at them sideways for like offering Danny like a new type of something. And it might be like her just being back under the company, working in some capacity so they can recoup some of their money. I really don't know. And then the Six of Pentacles in the reverse position is like, we've been getting this card. And again, scales is like justice. It's like legal. It's whatever. And we've gotten this card intermittently in almost every single poll that we've done. And this is like giving one way and then the other, and like unfair giving to some degree. HYBE and Adore are hiding something 100%, because the moon's right there. And yes, the moon in the reverse is like the revealing of a secret, but it's also like you have a secret currently, and it's like they're hiding something. I also recently just did a reading on BTS, and I said the same thing, where I felt like HYBE was hiding something from the members or was lying to them in some way. And I really feel like it has something to do with Homeboy, the CEO, that like is being like in jail or something. I don't know. HYBE has something fucking going on behind the scenes. I'm so convinced of this. But the thing is, HYBE is quite smart. They have a lot of financial backing, so they're really trying to hide it. It's giving, maybe I shouldn't make this comparison, but it's the only one I can think of. Sort of like, you know, like Donald Trump is in like the Epstein files and like everybody knows it. But it's like he's like, you know, edited out every single mention of him in these fucking files. There's something about that where it's like, I feel like everybody's kind of like, there's something weird going on at HYBE and specifically, but like no one can really like place it, and we just don't have enough information. It's like they're actively trying to suppress something, and it might work. I feel like also HYBE is a company that has a lot of political ties as well. Like I believe they fund a lot of Israel's behavior, or like donate money, or there's something about that. So HYBE is actually really tied up in a lot of stuff. Very like weird company. Very, I don't know. Nine of Pentacles. That's like offering money. The Empress is like a lack of taking care of something, especially feminine energy. And then we've gotten this card a lot too, and it's in the up right now, but in most of it, it's been in the reverse. But this is like valor. It's like going, it's like charging forward. They're really, I don't know, like they're trying anything to make this group the damage to like mitigate it. I really don't think NewJeans is going to be as strong as they were. I mean, I do see whatever music they have in the vault, it's lit. I see that so clearly. People will like what they release. I don't know if it'll be big, but it'll be liked if it ever gets released. But Adore and HYBE, their angle is not like punishment. Their angle is not to put NewJeans in the basement. They genuinely want these people to be making money, and they think that NewJeans is still quite profitable. They're cute girls. They have talent. You know, they sing, they dance, they're whatever. You know what I mean? They look good together. HYBE and Adore, I don't know. But the whole thing about Danny, like, I really don't know. There's something odd about that. Like, they're trying to get her to do something, and she might not do it. I would, even if it's not ideal. It's better than, I think, the path that Danny's going to go down, because it's just going to be much harder. But they're trying to, like, do different things with the members to get them money. Just, it's like squeezing a lemon. That's what I see HYBE and Adore doing. Squeezing a lemon, trying to get these members to give them some sort of something that they can market or sell to the world. It's really interesting. Not like surprising because they're a company. Justice, it's a lack of justice, being unjust. It's sad too, because honestly, I know the court didn't side with NewJeans, but there's something about, and I was not paying attention to NewJeans' case, and I think the court of public opinion also didn't side with NewJeans, but HYBE is like fucking shady. It's like gaslighting is what it feels like, and it's sort of like, it's like if you are in a kind of an abusive relationship, but your partner's really like suave or powerful or rich or like looks good, and they make you look crazy, so you're talking to the people and people are believing the abusive person because they're better presented. I don't know. I'm not saying NewJeans was right. I'm not saying what they did was smart, but I am saying from an emotional standpoint, I've said from the very beginning, it's like there's something there that they didn't convey well, because maybe it's not something easily conveyed. Anyway, I don't think they're happy under Adore. I think Adore and HYBE, because again, this is like unjust. This is like, there's like shady business. And maybe it's just they're like really mean. I don't know. But also it's like, it's unfair that you work in a mean work environment. Whatever. I don't think I helped. Let me tell you something. I feel kind of confident in some groups, and NewJeans is not one of them. So all of this could be wrong. I've gotten some things right, and I've gotten most things wrong. Well, peace and love.